Coach Zeke said the goal here was trying to keep this young team together. They did for the most part from last year. Are these Cowboys better than last year's 10-6 team?
Well, first of all, I don't really understand how Zeke's contract helps keep the team together. Not really seeing the concessions that were made to pay all the other players.
No, we're going to keep the top part of the team together.
We're going to keep
the bottom part's going to fluctuate.
I'm together.
Yeah, we're going to keep that timeshare and Cabo together. Yeah, are they better? Well, if you look at the start of last season, they went 3-5 through the first 8 games. And to me, if they're better in the first part of the season, this team should be better overall. I don't think they can go through another early season dip and anticipate that suddenly things are going to get better midseason and they're going to go on the win streak that they did. So they got to figure out how they can start significantly faster than they started last season. And there's going to be some difficulty because Zeke, we don't know where he is. And they're going to have to figure out how he fits in this early part. And when he changed the offensive coordinator, I feel like we gloss over this. There's a learning curve with everybody. There's a learning curve with the quarterback as to how the plays are going to come in, how he's going to operate situationally, and there's a learning curve for that coordinator and how to best use the players. And how quickly that can come together, too, is a big determining factor.
What's going to determine how good they are is going to determine how good their offense is. I believe their defense is predicated on we're undersized, we're going to fly to the ball, we're going to try to create some turnovers, and if they can play like they did last year, 8 games, they didn't have to play 30 minutes. In those games, they were undefeated. So I believe the defense can play to that level. F the offense, and 2 question marks. How are they going to get the tight end involved in the offense? All right? How are they going to be better in the red zone? And how is their deep passing game going to improve? Because in talking to Sanjay Lau, you like him as a wide receiver coach. He's a good coach. He said they must improve. Dak as a thrower, Amari as a route runner, and Michael Gallup, they have to improve their deep passing game. So if those things are to happen, because I believe Zeke is going to get his yards. He's going to have 1,250, 1,300 to 1,400 yards rush. He's going to catch 70 passes out of the backfield. Those things are going to happen. But Dak, the way they grew in the second half of the season, now they won't have the luxury they had last year during the season. That schedule, the last 8 games, is not anywhere like last year when they ran off that 8 of 9 wins. So let's watch for their passing game, and it's going to be hard for that new coordinator because he's coming into the first game with one of his hands tied behind his back. He knows his running back's on a pitch count, and Amari Cooper has missed a month of training camp, so he's on a pitch count. So how effective can they be early in the season is going to be very important, Nick.
You can be better than you were last year. It doesn't mean you win more games, and that, to me, is the bucket I think the Cowboys are going to find themselves in. I think they'll be better because no matter what you think of Dak, he should be better in year 4 than year 3, should be better with a full off season, even though Amari's missed training camp, but with Amari there for now a year and a half instead of being acquired midseason. And he should be better. Lyle Collins, the right tackle they just paid the most money ever in the history of that position, he should be better. Like, there's a lot of guys, Jalen Smith, who also just got paid, Leighton Vander Esch, all those guys should be better. But the Cowboys last year, that winning 7 of 8 into the regular season, 8 of 10 overall to finish their season after the 3-5 start, it's a little misleading. They did win 8 of 10. That's a fact. In those 10 games, those 8 wins and 2 losses, the point differential was +6. They were very, very close wins. Every single one was a 1-score game. And we can say the whole league is 1-score games, but it's really not. And maybe about half your games are 1-score games over the course of a season. And usually you win about as many as you lose. The Cowboys last year were 8-2 in 1-score games. That is a flashing red light of regression, the same way injury luck is, like you and I have talked about, or turnover luck can be. If a team all of a sudden one year has just a preponderance of fumbles that they recover, when that tends to be a 50-50 proposition. So that concerns me, and the fact that their biggest competition in that division, Philadelphia, I think is better. I think Wentz, we have seen in the past ACL injuries, yeah, you're back after a year, but you're not yourself until 2.
Yep.
Since Tom Brady's been league MVP Tom Brady, 2007 to now, what's the worst year he ever had? 09.
Yep.
The year coming off the ACL injury in 08. Carson Wentz, last year was his first year back from the ACL. I think this will be the first year we see him back to pre-ACL form. For all those reasons, I think the Cowboys might actually be a better football team, but it might result in 8 or 9 wins instead of the 10 wins they had last year, much less 11 wins like some people are projecting.
How much difference can this offense look then with a new offensive coordinator? Are you going to see a marked difference with Kellen Moore there?
I don't know. I don't know what you're going to see because really Kellen studied primarily under the previous offensive coordinator. Most of what he's learned came from people who had put the system that's been in place. So unless he has a radically different thought process as to how he approaches situations or how he's going to approach formations, you can't anticipate how different this is. It's not like he's coming from a West Coast system or he's coming from a digit system. He's coming from something totally different. He grew up in the system that was in place, so it's hard to project out radical changes.
Yes, I wish they would have gone outside the system. I wish they would have gone from a different coaching tree, because typically when you hire someone like that who does not have the experience, what he has done is he's made the owner comfortable in answering questions about what he would do with the offense if he was calling it. So why the offensive coordinator was there, the only reason they could have known what he known was, what would you do if you're the coordinator? Now, for me, I don't know if he earns this spot, but it is the #1 thing I'm watching for the Dallas Cowboys. Their offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore, is he qualified to be in this spot? Because Jason Garrett, his coaching, his future relies on it.
And the fact is, Jason Garrett was an offensive coordinator. That's how he made his bones, and he's still there, and he's had a huge impact on this offensive system. He's going to have an impact again. So are we really going to see these big changes to what we've seen in the past?
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.